I'm Tracy with MeatRx. I'm a MeatRx coach, and today I'm here with Will. He's going to tell us about his carnivore success story. Hi, Will.
Hi, Tracy.
So can you tell us about how life was like before carnivore, your health conditions and your diet possibly, or any other details about your life before?
Yes, I was always kind of an athlete from a young age. I raced motocross motorcycles, which is physically demanding like you can't believe. But unfortunately, later in life, I was sort of disillusioned with life, didn't know where I was going, and went down a really bad drug and alcohol highway for about 10 years and did a lot of damage to myself. And then I actually was getting ready to go to prison for about the rest of my life, and God showed up and got born again and just completely changed my whole life and my direction. And so now I'm later in life sober, but my system probably wasn't quite right, and I was kind of bloated around the middle, eating tons of carbs and sugar, just whatever I felt like eating, I ate it. Because I could get away with that almost my whole life because of, all the workouts I was doing and the racing, but not so much, getting in my 50s and so, and overcoming, all the damage I did with the alcohol and drugs. So now I'm clean and sober, but just eating horribly. I'm like a sugar addict, really. And I would go to Starbucks and order coffee, and I'd say, okay, I'm not getting any of these things out of that case. And then I'd be sitting there getting all nervous, and then I go, you know what, I'll just work out harder and give me this and this. Every time I'd lose the battle. And so I was on like YouTube, like just searching out workouts and how to get rid of belly fat and all that stuff on there, and do this, do that, send us $39.95. And I didn't, I just knew better than that. But one guy said something. He said, abs are made in the kitchen. And I was in my kitchen, and it just hit me like truth. And I said, wow, okay, you know what? I mean, because I'm telling you, I was working out so hard that I think I almost gave myself a heart attack. I worked out way too hard, and I still was just bloated around the middle. It looked horrible. I mean, and you see the before and after picture, I did not look good. And so, and that was working out hard. So yeah, there it is. So anyways, I kind of started like searching out, like eating differently. And I quickly went onto the keto. I went, okay, I'm going to try this. And I'm kind of an all-in kind of guy, all in motocross, all in drugs, I mean, all in Christianity. I mean, when I do it, I do it. But so I went all in, and I was very strict. And I don't even really remember having the keto flu. I mean, quickly, and I'll never forget this. This was so awesome. I went to Starbucks, and I was going to get my Americano with heavy cream, and I saw that case. And for the first time ever, I just looked at it and I go, you know what? I don't really want any of that. And I went, hallelujah, thank you, God. And so I go, okay, I'm liking this because, being set free from drugs, just that desire, God set me free from that. I don't have a desire for that. I feel so good now being filled with the Spirit of God. I don't have a need for that. But, it took a supernatural deliverance because some people struggle the rest of their lives with drug addiction. Well, he set me free from that. I don't think about it. Well, now I get set free from the sugar addiction and the carb addiction. And I notice I'm feeling much better. Like I would go ride my motocross bike, and I would go fasted, and never in my life would I do that. I mean, it's a dangerous thing. You want to be alert. Well, I found out, hey, I'm more alert, fasted, and fat adapted really is, I think, what really just made a difference, because I still have plenty to work on, fat around my middle. And so, yeah, I'm telling you, it was probably 30 or 40 days, and I lost 30 pounds of that blubber around the middle. And I was noticing, like, from all my injuries, I've got shoulder injuries, knee injuries, and I was having atrophy in my shoulders, and my t-shirts kind of hung from a point from my shoulders. And I started noticing, I'm going, I haven't really been working out like in the gym or anything, but my muscles they're getting like full and hard. And I'm at that point, I'm 64 years old. Okay. I'm 65 now. I just turned 65, but this was a year and a half ago now. And so I was like, this is amazing. And so I don't know how long it was. It was probably about 6 months of that. I started seeing Sean Baker and a few other people, and they're talking about carnivore. And, I always have loved, I've always said, man, I could just eat meat. I don't care about anything else. I love meat. I always loved ribeye steaks and greasy cheeseburgers and bacon. And so I thought, I noticed the keto. I was starting to get into all these different keto this and keto that, and then it would kind of awaken that lust, you don't want to let it back in the door, and I found I was doing that. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna eat ribeyes and bacon and eggs. At that time, I was still eating a lot of cheese, and but it didn't really matter at that point. Once I got carb adapted, I was pretty solid. But then just realizing all I had to eat was meat, that was awesome. I just eat mostly ribeyes. I really honestly have not found grass-fed and grass-finished that I like the flavor as much as, sorry, but it's working for me. So you know what, that's what I've noticed. Most people say, hey, if it's working for you, except the real maniacs, then you gotta buy their meat. But I just enjoy the flavor. I've got believe it or not, there's a Walmart here that has the most amazing ribeyes. Not always, but man, it's like, wow, those are really good. They're so marble and they look so good. And so, probably some people are just moaning and groaning right now, but you know what? It's working for me. I'm feeling better than I ever have. And also, as I talked about, that mental clarity, I've noticed in my racing, as you get older, your hand-eye coordination gets off. It's just, things change. And you can't ride the same way you did when you were younger. It's just impossible. You're going to get hurt or killed. It could be a bad deal. It's dangerous. And so I've noticed that my mental clarity and my concentration in racing has come up, and I'm doing better and better. And I have a lot of people tell me, well, you're riding so good. And I say, man, let me tell you about it. And I tell them about, at that time it was keto and then carnivore. And some people, they just, it's kind of like telling them about God, they just go blank, and it's like, okay, well, but some people listen and they get good results. So that's awesome. I love helping people with God mostly, but with this carnivore diet, that's an awesome thing. It's a one, what you're doing, you're helping people. And that's just it's a better feeling than winning any race or doing any of that. It's a wonderful thing. So.
Yeah. So did you get your injuries from motorcycles, from racing, or?
I got a lot of injuries from racing. I was a top pro in Southern California in the 70s. And by the 80s, both knees, both shoulders destroyed, and I was done. And it was really sad because I really did have the potential to take it to the very, very top. And, I did win 3 pro championships here, but, there was more. And I just never got to do like national champion or world champion. And that was one of the reasons why I kind of lost it in life, because it always ate at me. Like, it's not fair. I could have been somebody, but yeah, oh well. So, so now I'm going from motocross racing to stunts, and that's pretty cool. It doesn't take as much just intense physical conditioning. You don't have to be a perfect athlete to do stunts. You just have to be athletic and be able to, know how to fall without hurting yourself. And so I did really well with that, and doubled Sylvester Stallone in First Blood on the motorcycle chase scene. Did some big stunts on the A-Team television show. And then about 4 years into my stunt career, I was doing a pretty easy stunt in Birmingham, Alabama, this Mel Gibson movie, and he was in the back of this big stake bed truck with 25 guys in the back, and this is a huge truck. And I'm the work boss, and I got my baseball bat, and these are scabs, and we're striking workers, and they're not coming in. So I beat the windshield out of the truck, and then I go after Mel on top of the cab, and I'm supposed to get thrown off, and 6 stunt guys running along next to the truck going to catch me. Worked great in rehearsal. It was a pretty easy stunt, really. But all hell broke loose when they rolled the cameras. The extras went nuts. It was like a real fist fight. The guys couldn't get to me. One guy got to me, and I crushed him. I was weighing almost 200 pounds at that time, and we went under the truck, and those dual rears drove over my chest, and I knew I was dead. I mean, it sounded like dried twigs snapping. It was awful. And nobody was asking me if I was okay. They knew I was dead. So now, not only do I have bad shoulders and bad knees, I've got everything broken, my neck, my ribs, my shoulder, my elbow came outside my arm. So I'm messed up. I'm paralyzed laying on the ground, and luckily it was just temporary, obviously, but the stunt coordinator was just crying over me, just kind of saying, "Oh God, no." And it was amazing. Obviously I didn't die, but a month or 2 later, I went back on that set, and I mean, I was bent over and I was jacked up, and I was for, I still have problems from it, but it was noticeable for about a year. I was all hunched over, looked like I was 90. So that was pretty harsh on my body. I wish I would have known about Carnivore then. I was just drinking and drinking alcohol and eating garbage. So yeah, that's one of the wonderful things about Carnivore that just has helped, I think, with a lot of these injuries. Has started a better healing process, and sugar is tearing things apart. So now that I've got that out of my life, and I do want to confess, I every once in a while say, you know what, I feel like having some ice cream. It's the weirdest thing, and it doesn't even taste as good anymore, but I'll just do it. And then, I don't know, lately it's just like, almost like the voice of God says, hey, that's stuff's poison, don't eat it. And the next thing I know, I'm watching either Sean or somebody, and they're talking about the destructive nature of sugar, and how harmful it is for you, which I kind of knew, but it, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, all of a sudden you start paying attention. So I thought, and you know what I've noticed? My knees. I mean, I've had doctors tell me, how do you walk on those knees? They are bone on bone. They are destroyed. You need knee replacement surgery. And I say, well, let's just hold off for now. I'm praying for healing, supernatural healing. But I notice if I eat carbs or sugar, my knees, I start limping. I'm in severe pain. So it's a good reminder not to do that.
Oh, yeah. So the guy on the radio when you were in the kitchen that said abs are made in the kitchen, is that where you first heard about Carnivore, or where did you first hear about it?
Well, I don't think I actually had heard about Carnivore at that time, but that, kind of lit what do you want to, the idea that, hey, I'm doing this wrong. Obviously, I'm doing it wrong because I worked out so hard I almost killed myself. I had a Bowflex Max trainer, and I even put like bars out the side, so it's more like a motocross bike. And I'm just grinding on that thing, and all of a sudden one day everything's going gray, and I'm like feeling my heart going, uh-oh. Like, I don't know if you remember Sanford, so this is a biggie. Okay, you can't do that anymore. That's just you're getting too. You're 64 years old, and you're gonna kill yourself. And so I thought, okay, and plus all the who knows how much damage I did with the drugs and alcohol, and also getting run over that truck. I could have been a ticking time bomb. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're aging backwards now, is that right? Right.
I
And carnivore's helping you heal and get strong and
I feel like it. As I told you, my motocross racing. I just rode with my brother the other day, and he said, he goes, you're getting faster as you're getting older, you know. And I don't think that would have been happening had I been eating the junk. I probably wouldn't even be able to ride because my knees would hurt so bad. When you land off a jump and your knees are already sore and bone on bone, it's brutal. So, yeah, it's Carnivore has just been amazing for that as well. There's all the other benefits.
oh, good. Well, I'll show your before and after here again and let everyone see. And you have really made a big change, and I appreciate you sharing your story with us. And it's amazing. It's an amazing story to me.
Thank
I,
you. And that picture of me holding those trophies,
uh,
I'm 64 years old. That was the last year I was in North Carolina for a year.
oh,
And so I raced at this cool track, East Bend Motorsport Park in East Bend, North Carolina. And I won the championship in the 50-year-old class. And it was really funny because one night in the middle of the season, I won the first moto. There's 2 motos in a night. And so I lined up for the second moto, and this guy who usually didn't race there, and he was fast, but I beat him in the first moto. And he looked at me and he goes, how old are you? And I said 64. And as soon as I said it, it was like, darn, I shouldn't have told him that. And I could just see he was like almost angry at himself, And he goes, kind of nodded, like, yeah. And that gate went down, and I had the lead. He went by me like, about out of hell, and he won because he was like, no way that 64-year-old guy's gonna beat me, because he was
oh
50.
yeah.
And so that was awesome. And yet again, I don't think that would have been happening. Um, it's just the concentration and the physical conditioning needed for that. It was not happening with regular working out and eating carbs and garbage. I had to make a change. And as I told you that, it happened in the kitchen.
Mhm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Will, so much. I know this will help a lot of people, and it's a tremendous, great story.
Thank you, Tracy. And yeah, I just want to encourage everybody, man, stick with it. And, it works. It's awesome.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
Bye bye.